Good evening, retail traders. I'm Washboard Jim with a Sneaky Snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I want to talk about a chart pattern that we recognized first thing this morning and how to predict that maybe we got a pattern coming up and how we jump out of a snake to get your attention. So like I said, I'm the Sneaky Snake Trader where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And today was a very successful day if you were watching Washboard Jim trading the SPX. I am live on YouTube. You can start to learn how to trade if you're a beginner. And we're going to go right to the chart. First thing I'd like for you to learn is 16 basic patterns. And you'll see them come up every single day. And there's some of my favorites on here and some of my not so favorites. But each one of them can tell you if we're bullish or if we're bearish. And today, the chart pattern I'm going to talk about is a reversal pattern called the inverse head and shoulders. It's right here. This pattern right here up in the right corner. I've got all kinds of little neat patterns on here that I'm looking for every day throughout the day to try to predict which way the market direction is going to go. So basically just Google chart patterns, cheat sheet, bullish and bearish, and you should be able to find you a nice little trade out of them. So let's go straight to the SPX. And I'm going to show you exactly how to trade this the way I've learned how to trade it in the past. So we had a pretty big pullback right at open already. And we continued this pullback throughout the morning, the early morning. And this is on a 1 minute time frame. Now you could use a 2 minute time frame and a 3 minute time frame, whatever fits your booty. But I like using the 1 minute, and I'm kind of compromising these days, trading with the 2 and the 3 minute. So we're coming right out of the gate here, and I yell out the room, I said, hey, we've got us a little pattern going on here. We've got a snake pullback. And if you can count to 3, you can trade with me. So we're going to go up here to the tools, and we're going to pull out the snake pattern, which is 2 horizontal lines, vertical lines. And we're going to go to the body of this candle right here and run it up to the body of that one right there. Whoops, let me redo that one real fast. Now remember this, always use this here formula if you want to try to catch a knife. So we go to the bottom of that pattern. Now we've got 2 different kind of patterns on this one, but this is where I'm saying you got 1, 2, and then we start to break out on that third pattern right there, right on that third top. That's called a triple top. So you got 1, 2, 3. And I yell at the room, I said, hey, we're breaking out. Wait for the pullback. So she pulled back a couple of minutes, and then she went back up and did a double top. And I always say, and this is important to learn, wait for the second pullback, because we're creating what you call a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders. So I'm going to go up to my toolbox and get the trend line, and I'm going to go from the body of this candle right here to the body of this candle right here. So we've got the breakout. It's brought it to our attention. We know we're going to start having a little breakout here because it's left that pattern. That's sometimes called a bull flag. And we've got 2 head and shoulders in here. We've got one right here. We've got the left shoulder and the right shoulder and the head right here. Plus we also got one right here. You got the left shoulder. Now listen to this. This is important. Left shoulder once, left shoulder twice. The head, right shoulder once, and right shoulder twice. So on that second time, 8 out of 10 times, it'll pull back again and retest that right shoulder the second time. This is very important to know. And I called out the room and I said, I'm jumping in this trade. And we went ahead and we pulled back and we hit that right shoulder the second time, and she went ahead and broke on out. By this time, I've bought in, I've cost averaged down, and I got some contracts. So we went ahead and broke on out to the upside. This is called an inverse head and shoulders. left shoulder, head, right shoulder, let's take it to bed. So she runs up and she hits the 63. Then she starts hovering around the 63 for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then we went ahead and had another little head and shoulders right here where she broke out again. And then she run up and hit the 200 SMA. And that's an exit idea. The 200 EMA or the 200 SMA. Now I jumped out of these trades here because I was up, quite a bit already, $800 and some dollars. And I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger. And then I waited around and farted around and got back in it and run it up to the 200. And then by the end of the day, these contracts went from $275, something like that, all the way up to $56. We had that big run at the end of the day in the same contract. So we were at the bottom of this trade. Snake, inverse head and breakout, pulled back and created an inverse head and shoulders, and then runs up to the 200 or the 63. Whatever time you have to trade is the time you can get out of that trade. You could have got out of here at the double top. Right there, that's another pattern called a double top. Take your profit. You're up about $4 or $5 a contract by that time or more, maybe 6 or 7. I know they went to 9. And then we kept taking the trade off the 200. We had the 200 here and scalped it, the 200 here and scalped it, the 200 here, the 200 here, the 200 here, and run it all the way up to the top. But by this time, these stock contracts were at $30. So there are a lot of bears out there. You're getting a lot of fear in the market, a lot of fat cats, tariff this, tariff that, recession this, recession that. I get kind of sick and tired of listening to them because we're at the bottom of the market right now, and just great opportunity if you can just kind of look for them chart patterns and find which one you're dealing with. Today it was a snake, breakout, pullback, boom, on a 1, 2, 3 breakout right here. And that's what I call the snake, breakout, pullback, boom, to a double top and get out of the trade. And that was right about at the 200 EMA. So copy and paste this or Google chart patterns, cheat sheet, bullish and bearish, reversal patterns, and you can find you a diagram or a cheat sheet that you can work off of. And I would say if you really want to become a good trader and want to make it real simple and real easy, just start learning these chart patterns. They don't always have to be perfect. Don't think they just have to be exactly perfect, because they're not like that. They go sideways. They go, even a triple bottom can have higher lows, like what you're seeing right here. 1, 2, 3 higher lows, breaks out of that symmetrical flag. 1, 2, 3, and she goes to a downside because you had a triple top up here, and that triple top can go vertically. There's a head and shoulders, means that's bearish. You've got rising wedges, you got falling wedges, double bottoms, falling wedge. But get used to them. That's almost like a descending pattern right there. That could have gone either way. That could have went to the downside. I like to see them with a little bit more steepness to them. But study these chart patterns, and within a month, I guarantee it, you'll see a big improvement on your trading. So this is a sneaky snake trading strategy. Let's see if I can get back to that chart. Where's it at? Nope, that ain't it. Is it this one here? Yeah, we'll find it. There it is. Snake, inverse head and shoulders, breakout to the upside. And these contracts, if you're trading the SPX, man, them things can fly. That's called an inverse head and shoulders. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Have a great day.